This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're here at the Golden Contract Press Conference ahead of the quarterfinals on Friday. With me, Ryan Walsh. Ryan, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah.
Good to hear. Let's get straight into it. Press conference, 2 days to go. Press conference out the way. The media duty's almost done once you finish speaking to me. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling as good as probably I've ever felt 2 days before, a day and a half before a weigh-in. It's always the last rubbish bit. The media is good because it takes your minds off things like this, so that's not too bad. I've still got a few little bits to do, and that's it, yeah.
There was a good bit of excitement when this tournament format was announced. I'm sure there was with yourself when you realised you were going to have the opportunity to be involved in the tournament. Can you just talk to me about that process of finding out and how quickly you jumped straight into wanting to be in this tournament as well?
Well, I've been recently talking to Jamie and Paul from MTK, and I believe I was the first to sign. So I was first signed against 7 unknowns. I absolutely love the concept. It promises activity if you can win. That's the key to this. You keep winning, you get 3 fights. So I've never had that in my career. So this is, for me, it was a no-brainer. I love the concept, love the idea. And it just seemed to snowball because initially when I signed, I don't think ESPN Plus were involved, Sky weren't involved. So I'm happy that the boxing powers that be could see what I could see. I'm a boxing fan, first and foremost. And any boxing fan who can't get behind this don't really understand boxing. And more than anything, it's eradicating a bit than politics. The politics that, as a boxing fan, I hate.
I just wanted to touch on that, the activity you mentioned, being able to get a string of successive fights should you keep winning and, you struggle with people pulling out during your career, at times not being able to get a fight. Do you think we're going to see the best of you now that you've got dates penciled in if you keep winning and you're going to be in with some top guys as well?
100%. If you look at my career, I've had activity once and it culminated in with a European title shot, which I know I won, all right? In Denmark, you could give that saying, oh, you didn't do enough to win. That shouldn't have ever been the case, home and away and all that rubbish. We don't do away goals, we're not football. A ring's a ring and you should be neutral. One of the judges was neutral. I mean, it was a split decision loss on his territory. In a neutral ring, 100% win. In England, 100% win. It just happened to be. I was warned, though. I knew the rules. I'm not complaining. I'm not crying about it. A journalist told me exactly a month before the fight, how do you feel about coming over here knowing that if you don't knock this guy out, you're not getting the result? And I was like, whoa, I took back. I'd already said this to my girlfriend, that if I don't knock him out, they'll job me. I made it so it was easier to job me because it was quite close, but either way, that's all in the past. But that was what was my point, I think, before I ran on. It's with activity you'll get the best out of me. And I went trainer, Tennyson, the European title fight, and that's the closest I've had. I think there was 3 fights in 9 months, and I was really happy with that. It's better for everything, for weight, condition, activity. It's just quite obvious. Imagine a footballer. I'm going to play football there. I'm then not going to play a competitive match in front of the fans for 6 months. Do you expect him to be the same footballer? I mean, I've been lucky enough because I'm in the gym all the time. I love boxing. This is more than boxing. It's not sport. It's not a hobby. This is my life. And I like this life. So I'm fighting to keep that life that I like before I have to go to a 9 to 5.
There's a huge dangling carrot there, a huge incentive for all of you. I believe it's a 2-year, 5-fight deal on the line with 6-figure purses for each of those fights. We heard there was a bit of tension at the draw, etc. It's been a bit more low-key today. That said, how do you all deal with that pressure? It's such a unique position for you all to be in.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I think experience helps in all this. I could feel the tension yesterday, but I was half looking around thinking, what would need to be tension about? We signed this contract to fight any one of the 7. I had no tension until he picked me. And then I thought, right, now you're challenging me, which was brilliant. And I needed that, I suppose. I'm glad I didn't have to do the picking because you're giving that other man that incentive. You're saying to that other man, hey, I fancy I can beat you, so I fancy I can beat them all. Of course, that's why I'm here, but I'd rather not do the picking. I hope I get red ball all the way through this.
Well, let's talk about Hyron Sakaras. We were talking there about how he went and picked you, one of the pre-tournament favourites. Did that come as a surprise to you?
When he stood up and he's got a choice between the unknown Mexican and myself, I did think he was going to go for the Mexican. But then if you think about it and what he said, if you can only go off what he said, he probably had to go me. You can get footage on me. I'm the supposed favourite. And yeah, it's an admirable choice. It's a choice I have to make him regret. It's simple as that. It's a choice I intend to make him regret.
almost reminiscent of amateur days. You didn't know who you were fighting going into fight week in such a high-profile tournament as well. That's got to be quite bizarre for you. What have you seen of your opponent since you learned who you'd be facing? What can you expect?
Everything I've seen is very positive. He's a very good fighter. You don't get bad Cubans in amateur or pro, I don't think. I don't see many of them. I've not witnessed many of them, and he's good. He's a decent fighter. After what I've seen, I'd put him up there. I don't know what the bookies have got him at. He's a very good fighter. I have to be at my best to beat him. Simple as that. And he's picked me because he's trying to make a statement off me. I can make a statement on him because I beat him. It's a good fight to win. It's one I can be proud of because I know he's a good fighter. Anyone who watches him, I think I know boxing. I think I know fighters, and he's a good fighter.
Let's just go back to camp quickly. How difficult was it preparing for 7 different fighters in one go, knowing that you don't exactly know who it's going to be, but you do need to be in shape, you need to be ready for anything?
The biggest plus of my career is to have 2 brothers who are good at this boxing thing, and one of them in particular can do a bit of everything, and he's got the height, he can box low, he can do a bit of everything, and Liam it's been me and him the whole last 5 weeks. Michael's always there, but the point being, for sparring, Liam can do a bit of everything. So he'd done a bit of everything in all the rounds we'd done. He'd done different things. It was really good, and it's worked out really well. So,
how much of an advantage is it going to be that this is going to be essentially a home fight for you? The Farmy Army will be in there making lots of noise. You have the fans in there behind you. Does that give you that extra lift you need?
100%. I think it's. It might give him some more steel to try and fight against it. I know it did me in Denmark. I wanted to fight against it. Although in Denmark, 40 of our Farmy Army got out there, and it felt like home again. They're a phenomenal bunch. They're a special group of people who come and follow us. I probably know them all by name, and I know the kids. Our kids go to school together. I'm a lucky person for that, and I massively appreciate what we get there. And it will make a difference. It always does. I've been there when it's needed to make a difference. My brother had a fight of the year in York Hall, in a fight where he'd been decked and things like this, and they made a huge difference. They were brilliant.
Ryan, I'm going to leave the final word with you. For those watching on Sky Sports, those coming down to York Hall in what will, I'm sure, be a cauldron-like atmosphere, what can they expect to see from yourself on Friday night?
The very best version of me. I tried to liken this a few times to other people. Every couple of months we get an iOS something, and it's an add-on. In boxing, if you're not updating yourself, if you're not getting better, at some point you hit that brick wall. So I'm expecting a serious updated version of myself, thanks to the activity. I only just fought 3 months ago, and this is really close for me. Usually there's an 8 and a 7 month not for no fault of mine. I'm never injured, never ill. I'm always ready to fight. So this should be an improved version, a much more improved version of last time. And that's what I expect. That's what I put in it. The only pressure I put on myself is my own personal expectations, and I expect to be my very best and a better version than last time.
Okay, Ryan Walsh, thank you very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Best of luck.